Here I am, 38 weeks, just about to do the CTG and one more consult to see the baby. The C-section is already booked for the 14th of August, so oblivious of what is coming. So I go to the hospital and wait for the nurse. For the last couple of days I've been feeling contractions and a lot of discomfort, but I still hadn't lost my mucus plug. We started the CTG and the nurse starts asking me questions, and I cannot say a word. I start to feel very sharp pains, very intense pains, and we just stay there. Me, completely overwhelmed, and the nurse very attentive to the screen. I was actually in labor. She asked me how I was in labor and having contractions and was not complaining. I looked surprised probably and said that I was not complaining because I was happy. Next day, I did one last video of my bump at the hospital. They admit you in a temporary private room while the doctor is finishing another labor. Waited there for 2 hours, but the doctor was there on time. I enter alone at first so they can give me the epidural, and then my husband entered. And there she is. 46 minutes after 7 p.m. The doctor had a very hard time pushing her out because she was very high in my belly, but everything was okay. She was really healthy. They clean her up and bring her to me to do skin to skin. I was not allowed to film there, which was a shame. After they sewed me up, I was brought to the same waiting private room, where I was able to be watched by a camera by the nurses. By this time, I was shaking uncontrollably, which is a normal secondary effect of birth and all of the hormones that I released. I nursed her for the first time, and of course she fell asleep. After 2 hours, I think, I was brought to what it would be my room for the next 3 days. And we started our first night with a lot of sleep and a lot of nursing. The first day was amazing because I was so eager to get to know her, to look at her and to absorb every detail of her. I spent so much time in silence, doing nothing, just looking at her. The room was a good size and very comfortable. You have a small space to wash your hands, but I think that is more for the nurses. You have a huge closet that I didn't use. And then on the left you have the bathroom. They just have the basic utilities there, which is shower gel. But the space is good. You have the shower right on the floor, which is nice because you are very sore. You have also a bathtub if you want to bathe your baby, which we didn't. After birth, the vernix continues to act as a protective layer, protecting the newborn's sensitive skin and preventing allergies and contamination. So we only bathe her at home. In the room you have a changing table. Even though you have your baby's first outfit, they dress the baby with their hat and blanket, which were these ones. So when she gave her to me in the delivery room, I was a little bit confused. Every day they will give you a goodie bag. It has compresses, diapers for the baby, and lovely and sexy diapers for you. In the public system they give you like a mesh underwear and huge pads, but these diapers are better and more secure. And they also give you some changing mats. The bed was really comfortable. You have a huge TV, which we didn't use at all. A chair and an armchair. Between me and my husband, I had the little crib with her identification. We took the card home as a lovely souvenir. And next, I was very relieved to see a good bed for my husband. In the public system, your companion has a chair to sleep and nothing else, which is ridiculous. Here you have a very comfortable sofa bed. We actually paid 75 euros per night for him, since it was not included in the insurance. The insurance would only cover me and the baby. The view was not the nicest. Near the hospital we have a huge mall that was under construction. We had men working there all day. The food is not as bad as the public hospital, but is not very good also. They give you breakfast, lunch, dinner and something to eat before bed. If you need more, they will give you more, no extra charge. If you want your companion to eat as well, I think you have to pay like 11 euros per meal. And they adapted the food for me since I cannot eat green vegetables because I am intolerant. And here we spent 3 days. I had to walk a lot to diminish the bloating in my belly. And I was not allowed to take Dalila out of the room if she wasn't in a crib, which was a shame because she would wake up in the crib. On the 3rd day I was almost off pain medication, and they only give you paracetamol and a contraceptive pill prescription when they discharge you. And I just had a major 7-layer surgery. But anyways, the nurses were very helpful. Dalila was also seen by a pediatrician before leaving. We were not allowed to do her ID card. There was a place right there called IRN, but it was closed during the pandemic, and they only reopened these spaces on the public system, which was a pain. Sometimes Portugal is a little bit mean to the private system, and consequently for the user. But an advice: do not register your baby online. It might seem easier, it's not. They give you directions of the photo you have to take, but they never accept it. At 2 weeks old, she didn't had still an ID, so she couldn't go to doctor's appointments because technically she did not exist. And after you start the process online, you cannot cancel and go presentially. We had to fight a lot and with a lot of people to get her ID. 3 days after I gave birth, it was time to go home. This is what my belly looked like, looking like I was 5 months pregnant again. I was very scared but very excited to live and begin this new life as a mom of 2. And a new adventure began.